is very important. You always check twice if everything is locked. I know of 2 Woodturners who were dying in my actual position, and it usually is because of the phone, the telephone. You set up your bowl, telephone ring, you go to the phone, you answer, 5 minutes later you come back, I am ready. It was not tightened. The lathe is turning high speed. Whichever reason, you have not checked twice. The ball, first of all, always hit the tool rest. When you turn, your tool is pulling on the wood. It's not pushing. The cutting edge is pulling. When it goes off, it goes over the tool and it comes to you. It hit the tool rest, and then it is swing 90 degrees between the spindle and the tool rest. If the tool rest is level with the spindle, this is the ceiling. If your tool rest is lower, this is your face. So this is why it's very important to have the lathe at the good height, so the tool rest is not set too low, and it prevents you from a lot of accidents in your face. But another safety clue: never ever start your lathe facing your wood. You start it there. You start it there, because if it goes out, it's not going there, it's not going there, it's going here, it's going to you. So never start your lathe facing the wood. This is an habit to take. Always do that. As you always rub the heel first, always move when you start. You come back after. 90% of accidents are on the start. Okay? And the ball usually goes to the ceiling, back to your head. And this is how you get killed. So I don't want you to be catastrophe or stop turning. Just take little precaution and save your head. Okay. So we will turn, I did set it, I center it by eye. There's no way to use a center jig for that, you know, it's very hard because first of all, it's not round. Second, it's curved. But I just did center both tips now, and I will prepare for the chuck. Then I will recenter in the chuck. Because I'm not too long, I can easily recenter it after on the chuck. So I will just give it a little cut with the roughing out gouge. Just to use. Okay, close the door. Roughing out gouge. The only thing you have to care about is rubbing the bevel properly. I will double check this and that also, because it's very important. I talk too much. I will have this sliding for you to check. Okay? I'm giving it some pressure. It's heating, but it's so soft wood that it's just drilling in. Now I must always rub the bevel. Then I lift the handle and get a cut. Okay? I cannot cut deeper as far as I don't lift the handle again. So when I run the classic, you start roughing out, position your tool, find the cutting position, and then only your legs are moving. I won't go further in the middle because I want to show you something there. So this is my tenon for the chuck. I will straighten the tip here with my skew. And I will set up the chuck in there. It is very, very important to always lock your chuck on the spindle. When you set a chuck on the lathe, you always screw it totally to the end. The end. Unscrew. Unscrew half a turn and swing. It's locked. I can send backward. If I want to turn backward, I will screw the set screw here. I can turn light, but depends how strong you did knock it. It's only freehand, but it was locked. So it's already fairly tight. It will be hard to remove here. You won't take it off by sanding. It's fairly locked, eh? If you want to lock it stronger, like this. Always lock it. Otherwise, you may stop the lathe, it unscrew, one turn, you start the lathe, it locks down, forget about it. You need a 30-pound mass to unlock it, you may ruin everything. It can be incredibly hard to unscrew.
Yeah.
You cannot believe how hard it is. So it's very important. I am chucking lightly, and I will be turning an egg, so the biggest part of the egg will be here. I took it oval purposely because I want to save a little patch of bark on it, because I think it's fairly nice, and I like to play with that. I'm aware of the tool on the bench without the platform in the back. If you want to chuck very tight, you use both sides, because it balances the tension in the chuck. With the same force, you will be twice stronger. It's not a big deal here because it's not a big work. So always turn, minimum one turn to be sure it clears the tool rest. Otherwise, you may be off center, you don't realize. And tool rest should be about height of the spindle. Skew, 90 degree with the running wood. 60, 45 degree. Cutting edge with the running wood. First bevel. Cutting edge, then go forward. Here, bevel, down corner, top corner, I won't go there. I'm cutting here. I am lifting, rolling, and turning. Okay, now I'm having my leg there because I'm right-handed and I want to work this way, not that way. Okay? Cutting edge. Oh, I remove it out. I wanted to keep a little patch, but I did turn it too much. I turn another one. I turn two. Okay, I'm doing the point here. Two good exercise into turning an egg. Of course, manipulating your tool, combining the three movement. You cannot make any thick pass with a skew. It doesn't have the snow plower wing to push the shaving away. It's too fine. If I cut more than 1/8, well, this is very, very soft wood, but even 1/8 is like the maximum. In maple, 1/16 is already thick for a skew. With a gouge, you can turn 1/4 inch easy. So, you see, I'm lifting, moving lateral, and turning the handle all at once to have this perfect shape I want to have. So always turn the point of your egg first, because if you make mistakes, you can back it up. If you have turned the back, you have to stop there, you know. So now I will turn the back. I'll give it a little room. The back, probably the bottom of the egg will be here, but I will turn it a little further to give me a little margin. So I'm starting the cut, holding the tool firm on the tool rest, rolling around, bring it from over, down into the wood, without sliding. If you have a toboggan full of wood, you are in the rope and it's stick there. You just give it a little shock to start sliding, and then it slides alone. This is called the any physician here?
Inertia.
Inertia? No, it's not the inertia. It's the adherence.
Yeah, coefficient of friction.
When you're stopped, you have adherence. When you walk on ice, as soon as you don't slide a little bit, you can walk. As soon as your heel is sliding a little bit, you split. So as soon as the movement is started, you have no adherence. In order to move the cutting edge without moving the tool on the tool rest, I roll around. This is the way I start the cut, to avoid to have some adherence to the tool rest and not slide sideways. So Amos, horizontal, I point the center. Automatically I have my 45-degree shearing cut. Start, lateral, axial, rest. Start, lateral, axial, rest. I have some room to make my down cut. I'm fairly close. I must only work this side because it's too short otherwise. I'm just giving it some room now. And I'm turning. Excellent exercise for the coordination of the skew and also the judgment of the shape. My egg is not very nice because it has a point here, and I cannot turn the point here, that's too long because it's too weak here. Now it probably will break because this is the vibration is from the flex of this turn part in the back. Still have a too fine point here. The vibration like that can be very nice when it's a through cut. It won't be strong enough to be nice here. But the egg is really not nice. Very bad example. But you still can see, oh, that's the nest for the egg. It's a little small. See, I always rub the bevel and find the cutting point after. So anyway, this is the first one I ever made. And the center is the center pit is it's sticky. Whoa! So excellent exercise for the skew. When you a shear cutting exclusively produce curly shavings. This is the shear cutting which produced that, okay? So if I progress here, as my stem was curved, I can recenter it. I did chuck it quite hard. So this is skewing an egg. Very, very good exercise. As much for the coordination of the tool than the judgment of the shape. You never put the tool rest facing the jaws in case it loosen and get into the chuck. Try to stay outside of the jaws. I'm a little short here. I will make a round egg, what a turtle egg. Mainly to tell you that any very porous wood can be cut very clean, mainly with a skew. Of course, I'm playing in the chuck now, so I should take it out, but I will stop it there and do something else. You have an idea of what you have to do to practice your skew. But I will show you another quick way to do the job without removing the chuck. I will just put it there just to make a proper tenon for the chuck. It will be a little bit small. And my chuck, if my piece is perfectly square, it will hold properly. But if not, the holding may be dangerous. So if I want to be safe, I just have to bring back the tailstock and then I have zero risk here. Oops. not centered properly, amazingly. I will check it down, how it is. Always rub the bevel first. Change sound when we get to the wood. I will check if I do have enough wood here. I'm missing one corner, so it will be a little hard. I'll check. Maybe I remove a little bit of it. You can even rough out with it too. It's probably not the first thing to do with a screw. Never ever back up with a tool. You get catch easily. But I do all the time. But I bring the handle back and I back up on the heel. Then I lift it up and take back my cut. I think I must have enough there. That will be good. Nothing will cut as clean as a screw here. So I didn't have to take the chuck down and put the drive center back. So it's a way to save time when you turn. I will center it here. Almost perfect. Basically, if my tip is straight, it's perfect. Centering is perfect. So, once again, I will rough it out with my roughing gouge. Practice with your legs. You see my body is not moving. Every pass I lift the handle a little bit. I lift. I lift. Check the... Not perfectly centered. That's better. Heel, cut. The gouge makes a groove, concave. That's a spiral groove. I will use the side wing as a skew. Heel, cutting point, 45 degree. I didn't have a shear cutting action. Even though I move slowly, the grain is a little thrown off. Because the grain is like this, and my cutting edge is like this, and it will unroll the grain, and it won't cut it in two. Now I will make a shear cut. Lateral, heel, cutting point. The cutting edge is 45 degree with the running wood. So I'm not attacking the cell straight with a shear cutting angle. My surface is very clean. Here I got some grain that has unrolled from next. Okay, that's the action of the shear cutting. Now the problem, making a convex is hard because your cutting edge will go for 1 inch and your handle should go for 2 feet. When in the same way, same side, that requires a wide body movement that's hard to make in the beginning. Making a gorge, how you say?
Gouge. No.
That's a gouge?
Cove.
A cove. Making a cove, the cutting edge is going left while the handle is going right. You pivot on the tool rest. Making a cove, making a bead. Cutting edge, 1 inch, on the tool rest, 2 inch, handle 2 feet. All on the same side. That's hard to do. People, they turn, they lift, and they swing this way. That's neutralizing the two other movements. Here, with the gouge, that is sharpened this way, not this way. I'm cutting 90 degrees, not good. I'm rolling the tool. Look, my cutting edge already has this 45-degree shearing, and it's cutting in this direction. While there, it's not cutting. Rolling the tool, give it more angle to cut. Oh, it's not sharp. This is a small oval diamond hone. Very, very nice. And this is a credit card size diamond hone for the outside. You use the two movement. One hand turn the tool, the other one adjust the angle. That's quite comfortable. The very fine two-step in sharpening. The wheel is to shape the tool, the hone is to make an edge, and the fine the cloth wheel with green compound will make a very fine edge, okay? But it will not straighten the edge, it will just make it sharper. But the credit card will straighten the edge, mostly on a skew. You have to go to the stone to make it very straight. The grinding wheel sharpen like that. The stone make it straight. I will do the same here than I did with the skew. So I will start my cut rolling around the tool rest. Then I push and I roll and I move to see. My movement is lateral. I turn and I go down. First I lift, I open, I'm turning the bottom of the top. Here I will make my stem from there to there. So I start in the middle, start the cut, it's no way to push, there is no exit. I'm stuck in the end grain there, I will lift the grain. If I do that, I lift the grain, I explode the wood. I must turn down the grain, I'm doing the opposite. So I start the cut and I go down. I start the cut, always go from large diameter to the smaller one, never go up the hill. Start, start. My body is doing the lateral movement here. My gouge remains on my body. This is stable. I'm starting the cut and pushing, rolling at the same time. The other side. I can make thousands of shapes onto a top. Start, open. You open, but don't go too far. If you want to start easier, you make a chamfer 45 degree, plus 45 degree, 90 degree. I will make the last cut reverse. Whoop, this is a little big again. I will make the last cut a back cut. I want to lift the grain so the stem is not slipping in my fingers. And then I can cut the top pointed so it turns both ways. My production lathe has a clutch and a brake, so I control the speed and I stop as I want without leaving the tool or so on. I always did my tops. Every wood turner has his own design and personality on the tops. I always did very simple tops with a spiral on that makes it funny because you have a lot of effect when it's turning. It was sort of my personal identification on a top. So make hundreds even thousands of spinning top, you will never have a problem selling, giving those whatsoever. I broke the fiber here, so I got to turn it a little bit so it's round. Again, you should use your body for the lateral movement. I used to turn a lot of wine goblets. They were fairly expensive because they were very fine and requested a lot of time to be made and finished with the epoxy. And people were thinking they were expensive. They were expensive to buy, but they were very cheap to make. No money into that. When I was turning goblets, a full day turning goblets, I was very exhausted. To relax, I was turning 1 hour top. 60 top, 1 hour. I was selling those at Montreal Craft Show. 700-800 tops in the show. I was paying my booth. So I won't go further there either. I'm mostly telling you, start when you make a cove, start in the middle, put your cutting edge vertical, roll. That's my way to start. Starting the cut straight. Then you open, you create a little wall. Then your bevel is on the wall. You can open the mouth. Don't go too far. You know, the side wind not catch in the wood. You must keep it away from the little wall. But still you can open. And you make exactly what I do. The difference is that I start here, I lift, not to slide on the tool rest. That gives me some adherence to the tool rest. He goes straight, but your tip should be very, very vertical. Not to track back, okay? Make it easier, make a chamfer, and take it back in the chamfer. So you start on a 45-degree angle here. It's easier than start there. You already have half a wall back, you know, angle wall back. But the rest is exactly the same. You raise up there, roll the tool, swing lateral, and lower the handle. You must exit in the middle. Start, open, push. While you roll, you must exit there. You must not push further because you will lift the grain on the other side. So, down low start, open, roll, almost catch it. Open. And the way I found to explain what we are doing different, I back up, I drive frontward in my driveway. I back up, I turn. You must stop, change direction, and start with your car. Down low, park backward. He goes out the entry and start. But when you do that, don't do it all at once. Back up, stop, turn your wheel, and go the other way. Okay? Very important. Everybody try to do all at once. They get in trouble with that. Okay? So 2 different starts you can practice. You choose the one you want. Again, the coordination will make the shape. Try to make a perfect round shape. Then when you master that, you can make a different shape. Okay. One more time. I put the heel in the chuck to secure the tool and not to dig the cutting point. Okay? This way, this is presented first. I rely on the chuck to start the cut. Otherwise, I can back up with the cutting edge. That I don't want, okay? Even there. So there's no age to play with that, you know. Turn half a dozen nice top and leave it on your table when you have people coming, serious people, you know. And you're talking and don't do anything. Don't talk about the tops, don't do anything. All of a sudden, somebody will be talking, pick up a top and start playing with that. You can be amazed how fun can take care of everybody. I will mark the profile changing. Okay, so I will mark the main profile change. I mark this, that, because this is flat and the other one is round. So in the process, I will rough it out and mark the different profile change. But I won't mark these one here because I'm not shaped yet and I will lose my marks. Okay? So that's one thing in the process that you must remind. You don't need to make it first because you lose your time doing it. So I just will make it round and these marks will fade when they reduce. It's very important not to turn it perfectly around for two reasons. First is that you will lose all your marks. Second is you have no margin after you are limit. So when you rough out, always keep 1/8 of an inch bigger. Would it be a handle, a turning like this, a table leg or whatsoever, you rough it 1/8 of an inch bigger. It is roughing out. If you make a table legs, you get 4 normally. You turn the 4 roughed out. You put the 4 on the table. You realize they are not exactly the same. You have 1/8 of an inch margin to put the 4 exactly the same. Then you sharpen all your tools. You never sharpen, you're just roughing out, it's okay. You sharpen, they are fresh. You can finish the 4 legs without sharpening because you just remove a little bit. You have practiced all the movements, you know exactly where you are going, and then you will be able to make the 4 together, and you have 1/8 of an inch margin to put them smaller here, a little bigger there, or what you need to make the 4 similar. They must be a little different than the original, but if the 4 are similar, that is still okay. Okay? That's the procedure. So now I got my marks. Knees bent. Bevel, cutting point. My cylinder is cylinder because my legs only are moving. I won't go smaller because I will lose my marks. Now I will use my skew to anchor the marks. I will cut my tip here. This is the round top. This is the flat bottom foot. I have here, now I will make the two sides of the belly. Start again, lateral, axial, lateral, I'm putting my bevel in the angle I want to go. Axial, I'm putting the cutting edge in the same plan than the bevel. Start, lateral, axial, push. Start, no way to force, there's no exit. Start, I got an exit on the right hand side. Lateral, axial, push. Start, lateral, axial, push. I'm just making two V grooves, both sides of the belly in the center. Now I'm shaping the belly. Never going up the grain. Always down. I'm not even round here, so I sure can remove a little bit more. I try to make it symmetrical. And that's half concave, halfway. I can start here with my shoe, but I won't start straight because it will leave a mark down when I take it back with the gouge. But that's the word for the gouge. So start, same thing, then the cut. See, I'm doing the now this is not round yet, so I will make it round now. I don't need any more my profile change, I got them all. See, rolling give me the shear cutting angle. I'm round now. And the other side. Trying always to make it symmetrical, although it's not that important. Aesthetically it's better. Now I will measure, this is a thickness caliper, this is to measure diameter. I will take the measurement here and make the second one the same. By the way, the way to use the parting tool, this is where we will use the parting tool to find the proper diameter. Okay, one hand on the parting tool and the other one on the caliper. I got my diameter. So I make just a little chamfer here and make a final cut there. And now I'm ready to make the V groove. I'm not so fanatic about measuring, so I'll make it middle 2 times, light marks. If I need to correct, I can make it a little darker. Again, I split here. then I will make my V groove in between, not to lose my marks. That's all in the procedure, you know. Must think about it. So start, lateral, axial. This is where you will miss. Start, lateral. If you go too far, slack. Mainly on the axial. If you go too far, you take a track back. You make one shot, all of them. Then you can correct on the second turn. If angle is not right, you can correct. If one is too thick, you can make it more even. So just don't make one finished. Make them all once roughed out. And you will improve your cut every time. And when you are finished your massage roller, you will have gained a lot of confidence in your tool and mastering of the cut also. And tell it as I will do now. Start, stop. Lateral, adjust, stop. Axial, precise, stop. Then you push. Everybody try to do all at once, never works. 1, 2, 3, 4. And between each of us, each of these, stop. Look at your tool. Am I correct? Far enough? If you're too far, you will know. If you're not far enough, the cut won't be clean. It will be harder to push. So I did once, you do the other side, same thing, and then you enlarge. Start, lateral, axial, cut. Start, lateral, axial, cut. And every time you will see if you are symmetrical, both side, angle, I'm not there, you know. I can correct it now, if I want. But try to make it better each time. And once you have made them all, and you have 1 or 2 millimeter flat left, then the last, because if you look at it, we see the marks when I start, then I angle, and I rotate, I push, and the start point is left there. So the last cut, when I know exactly what I'm doing, I will start with all angle already aligned, and I won't even mark in the bottom. So once I know exactly where I'm going, I will do it without any lateral movement. I will position my tool on the good spot right on by the beginning. But to master it, you must do, as I tell you, 4 step and stop between each one. Very, very good exercise. And the most amazing thing, I didn't know why they wanted to have this tool so much until I try it. When I'm finished, no need of sanding on that, but you can sand it here, there, and the ribs, they may cut your feet if they are very sharp, so I will do it like this, just to round it a little bit. You make 2 or 3 of those, your reverse cut with the skew will be very good. Then, when you have to cut, you made a little jewel box instead of cutting with a parting tool, with a gouge or whatsoever. You cut it with your skew. It is shiny, it's clean, lightly concave, just perfect, no sanding, and you won't miss your shot because you will have missed and learned here. Very, very, very good exercise. When you're finished, you cut the tip, same process. Make it clean. The first one he brought me was not so nice. It's cut there. But the tip is cut. It was a little rough, the shape was not very good, so I did improve it a little bit. just to make it nicer, you know. Probably the other one was working as well.
Why do you make one round and one flat?
Because it stands up
Oh.
and it's nice.